In Homo Deus, Yuval Noah Harari asks, what happens to humanity now that we've come remarkably close to conquering our age-old adversaries of famine, plague, and war? For millennia, these three problems topped our agenda, but today, for the first time, more people die from eating too much than too little, from old age than infectious disease, and commit suicide than are killed by soldiers, terrorists, and criminals combined. This historic success doesn't mean we'll settle into contentment. Instead, Harari argues, humankind is setting itself a new, audacious agenda to achieve immortality, happiness, and divinity. This book explores this new human quest, revealing how our current values and technologies are pushing us towards a future where Homo sapiens might transform into Homo Deus, a being with godlike powers, or perhaps become entirely obsolete. Understanding this trajectory offers you a powerful lens to view our present choices and the profound transformations that may lie ahead. The first step in this new human agenda is the relentless pursuit of overcoming old age and death itself. Harari explains that modern culture, unlike past religions that often sanctified death as part of a cosmic plan, views death as a technical problem that science and technology can and should solve. We are constantly reminded that human life is sacred, and since death violates this right, it's seen as a crime against humanity. Scientists and tech billionaires, like those at Google's Calico, are openly aiming to solve death. While true immortality might be far off, the ambition to significantly extend lifespan, perhaps to 150 years, is a serious project. This quest, Harari notes, will reshape everything from family structures and careers to political systems, as we grapple with the societal impacts of dramatically longer lives and the potential for an amortal existence, free from natural expiry but not from accidental death. Next, consider humanity's equally ambitious project to find the key to happiness. Historically, happiness was a personal pursuit, but modern thinkers see it as a collective project. The right to the pursuit of happiness, enshrined in documents like the American Declaration of Independence, has subtly morphed into an expectation of a right to happiness itself, with the state increasingly seen as responsible for ensuring individual well-being. However, Harari points out a crucial challenge. Despite unprecedented prosperity and comfort, studies show that subjective well-being hasn't risen proportionally. This is because happiness, according to science, depends less on objective conditions and more on our expectations and, critically, our biochemistry. Pleasant sensations, the building blocks of happiness, are fleeting. Therefore, the biochemical pursuit of happiness, through psychiatric drugs and potentially more advanced manipulations, is becoming a central endeavor, aiming to re-engineer our systems for lasting contentment. Building on these pursuits, the grandest project on the new human agenda is to upgrade Homo sapiens into Homo Deus, essentially attaining divinity. Harari explains this isn't about becoming an omnipotent biblical god, but rather acquiring godlike abilities seen in Greek or Hindu deities, designing life, transforming our bodies, controlling environments, and living indefinitely. This upgrade could take three paths: biological engineering, rewriting our genetic code; cyborg engineering, merging organic bodies with non-organic devices like bionic limbs or nanorobots; or the engineering of completely non-organic beings, intelligent software. As we develop these powers to conquer death and engineer happiness, we will inherently gain the tools to reshape ourselves in countless ways. The profound implication is that once technology allows us to re-engineer human minds, Homo sapiens as we know it may disappear, leading to a new kind of history incomprehensible to our current understanding. A crucial insight from Harari is that our unique power as a species and the entire edifice of human civilization rests on our ability to create and believe in intersubjective realities or shared fictions. Unlike other animals, who live in an objective reality of trees and rivers and a subjective reality of fears and desires, sapiens inhabit a third layer: stories about money, gods, nations, and corporations. These imagined orders allow for large-scale, flexible cooperation between strangers, something no other species can achieve. For example, the value of a dollar bill exists only in our collective imagination. Similarly, human rights, laws, and even empires are powerful fictions that shape our world. Understanding this web of meaning is key to understanding how human societies function and evolve. However, the scientific worldview, which fueled the modern covenant of exchanging meaning for power, is now beginning to undermine the very foundations of humanism, the religion that has dominated the modern era. Humanism sanctifies human feelings and free will as the ultimate source of authority. Yet the life sciences are increasingly showing that free will is likely an illusion, a product of biochemical algorithms in the brain that are either deterministic or random, but not free. Experiments show decisions can be predicted by brain activity before we are even conscious of making them. Similarly, the idea of a single, indivisible self is dissolving, replaced by the understanding of humans as a collection of conflicting algorithms, like the experiencing self and the narrating self described by Daniel Kahneman, where the latter often makes choices detrimental to the former based on flawed memory. This scientific deconstruction of the individual and free will has profound practical implications for the liberal order, which is built upon these very concepts. If algorithms can understand your desires and make decisions for you better than you can yourself, what becomes of individual autonomy, democracy, and the free market? Harari foresees a great decoupling where intelligence separates from consciousness. Highly intelligent but non-conscious algorithms may soon outperform humans in most tasks, rendering many people economically and militarily useless. This could lead to a world where a small elite of algorithmically enhanced superhumans holds power, or where authority shifts entirely to the algorithms themselves, managing human affairs based on data, not individual feelings. This isn't necessarily an Orwellian dystopia, but a world where the system knows you better than you know yourself, and you willingly cede control for convenience and better outcomes. Finally, Harari introduces the emerging religion of Dataism, which worships data and sees the entire universe as a flow of information. In this view, organisms, including humans, are merely biochemical algorithms, and their value is determined by their contribution to data processing. Human experiences are valuable only if they are recorded and shared, becoming part of the great data flow. The ultimate goal of Dataism is to create an all-encompassing Internet of all things, into which humanity might eventually merge or become obsolete. Freedom of information becomes the supreme value, potentially superseding individual freedom of expression or privacy. As we increasingly rely on external algorithms to understand ourselves and the world, authority shifts from human feelings to these data-driven systems. The main takeaway of Homo Deus is that while humanity has achieved unprecedented power by mastering its external environment, our next great projects, immortality, happiness, and divinity, are set to transform our internal world and perhaps even end Homo sapiens as we know it. The very humanist values that propelled us forward are now being challenged by scientific discoveries and technological advancements, potentially leading to a future where individual free will and experience are no longer the ultimate source of authority, and a new data-centric worldview redefines the meaning of life itself. You are encouraged to consider these profound shifts, as the future is not predetermined, and understanding these possibilities is the first step towards consciously shaping it. All right, that's a wrap on today's summary. Thanks for listening. If this book summary sparked your curiosity or gave you new insights, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell so you won't miss our next summary. Keep reading, keep growing, and see you in the next one.